Saber got in a fight, and I'm a big believer in Epsom salt. Getting a cat to sit in an Epsom salt bath is probably quite challenging. This is actually my first time ever putting him in a bucket of water. People often think that you can't train cats, but I think they can totally be trained. It's all about the relationship. They gotta trust that you really don't mean them harm, and they have to respect you enough not to tear you to pieces. He is extremely displeased with the idea of sitting in it, but he doesn't realize that a wound infection would be far worse than this treatment. I'm actually surprised I was able to let him go for short durations and he wouldn't jump out. You can see it all over his face though. He's like, I am not happy. I do not want to be here. Why are you doing this to me? I'm sorry, Saber, but you got in a fight somehow or another and I'm not going to lose you just because of an infection. My idea of training cats is far different than dogs. I don't need him to do tricks or anything cool looking. I just need him to cooperate with me. What a good boy. Not totally sure what happened, but I was laying in bed sleeping with one eye open like I always do. Heard some terrible yowling right outside the door. Launched out of bed, grabbed my device with a flashlight. Sometimes people make fun of my shoes, but I like shoes I can put on fast. The sounds were getting further away. Saber was obviously moving. I ran in the direction of the noise. Dagger was also running to the woods. I passed him right here. With all the noise I was making, I must have scared whatever had him, and it dropped him right about here at the edge of the woods. Whatever it was larger than he was, and it took off through there. I really couldn't see because of the foliage coming in. I do this a couple times a week. Fly out of the camper when I hear a strange noise and check it out. Saber knows what time it is and he's not thrilled. His tail is looking way better. He's actually lifting it on his own when I give him back scratches now. He's kind of staring at the water like he's angry at it. But he could be just redirecting. He actually might be upset with me for telling him to go in there. I think tomorrow's the last day I'm going to stick you in there and then we don't have to do this anymore. The swelling is almost completely gone down and he's so good I can just walk to the other side of the camper, do some laundry and walk back, and turns out he's still hanging out in there. Soon your fur will grow back and you'll look like the majestic cat you are. Some days Saber just isn't feeling like being a bucket cat, and you can kind of tell in the look in his eyes that he is not feeling it today. He knows he's supposed to stay there. Minion kind of walks around and taunts him like, haha, I'm free and you're not. Minion is also tired of being inside and wants to do something. Go places, do things. We've got outdoor projects calling our name, but there's no doubt about it, animal care takes a little time. Soon we'll go places, Minion. Saber just has to soak for about 10 more minutes. It's kind of funny. He knows he's supposed to stay in there. He badly doesn't want to. He kind of just reaches out and he's like, come on, how can I get out of here? It's a good thing I don't have the wood stove running. Being an outdoor cat, he doesn't know anything about wood stoves being hot sometimes. We're just about done, Saber. I'm going to rinse you off and then you're free to run around the rest of the day. Right when my timer went off, he finally settled in. It's Bucketcat, and he's grouchy because he doesn't want to be a bucket cat. The wound on his tail really isn't looking a whole lot better, but I expect it's going to take a couple days. He is getting used to soaking in the Epsom salts. I usually soak him for 15 to 20 minutes. Other than that, he's eating well and acting pretty healthy. Saber seems to be doing okay. His tail's definitely a bit swollen. Part of the reason for giving him an Epsom salt bath is so the wound doesn't scab over, sealing an infection inside. Got some canned cat food for when we're done with all this because he needs a little bit of encouragement. His least favorite part is rinsing off the Epsom salts. Cats aren't really supposed to ingest Epsom salt, so I just want to make sure it's all off of him before he gets to licking and grooming himself. Of course, I forgot to bring the towel with me again.
Carrie. Yes, Carrie, good boy. Bring it here. Come. Thank you.
Once he's done being rinsed off, I kind of dry him as best I can. I've also started him on antibiotics just because of the way the wound looks. He doesn't mind eating it with food though. He's also never really been groomed before and he's pretty skeptical about the brush. He's like, what is that? Why are you doing that to me? And he hates the antiseptic spray, mostly because it hisses at him every time I point it at his tail. But he'll be okay. Saber was known as Bucketcat for about 7 days. He got attacked by something and had a tail injury. He did really good with his Epsom salt baths, taking his antibiotics. His wound was pussy and draining for a while after the first couple days, but now I'm happy to report he has made a complete and full recovery. His fur is starting to grow back everywhere. He's got full movement in his tail. He's as playful as ever. I'm sure he got some street smarts from the whole experience. I want him around for a long time. Despite all the pampering Saber's getting, Dagger would much rather be outside than inside. He might be a little jealous that he didn't get to be Bucketcat because he doesn't have any injuries. So here, we'll try to make him Bucketcat for a minute. There's no water in there because he doesn't have any reason to have water in there, but he's kind of got the same I'm annoyed with you face as Saber does when he has to sit in the bucket. Bucketcat 2.0. I'm sorry, you can go outside now.